Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining AppScan Tuesdays today and to join our session. Unlike previous sessions, when we did it live, I decided this week to pre-record the demo, pre-record the session. And the reason is not because we are not able to handle demos live, it's because I had a lot of technical difficulties in the past, and I feel that it's unfair to people joining with and suffering from all those. So we may lose a little bit of the magic of live, but we'll still do it. We are here with you at 2 p.m. 12 at noon Eastern time. And if you have any questions during this session, just put them in the comments. Myself and the guest with me will be happy to answer those. So today I have with me Ran. Ran Klein is a product manager for my team. He's in charge of the new technology that we are introducing. Well, we have introduced earlier this year, which is called IAST, so AppScan IAST. Hi, Ran. Nice to have you on the show.
Hi, everyone.
And Ran, I know that you prepared a really cool demo for us, and I'm sure that people will be interested in seeing it. But before that, you and I have talked recently with some customers and even some people that are in the industry about IAST, and we found that many don't really understand what it does and if it's a replacement of DAS and SAS. And what are your perspective on IAST?
Yeah, so I think the most confusing part of IAST is that it's not a scan per se, such as SAS or DAS. So you won't go into a state where you have a release candidate and you want to scan it, and then you'll go back into the platform, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours from the time that you started the scan, and then you have a report and you know your action items. It's a bit more continuous and an approach that is integrated into your more day-to-day development process. So you'll be able to leverage processes that you are really interested in. For example, you want to invest a lot of time doing quality assurance for your platform because that will actually affect not only the security issues that you try to handle, but you'll get a more powerful and more quality product.
Yeah, which is what we expect companies to do there anyway.
Yeah. And if you can leverage those processes, which you already invest a lot of resources, money, and time into, and you can leverage those processes into more secured platform, then that's a win-win-win for everyone.
Yeah, and I think maybe I jumped ahead on this, heavy question, but let's just take a step back. What is IAST? IAST stands for Interactive Application Security Testing, which maybe an instrumented application security testing would be better, but that's the acronym. Can you tell us what that means from technology-wise?
Yeah, so essentially instead of having an outside scanner overviewing code or your website, your APIs, you essentially install an agent on your platform, on every microservice or on every part of the platform that you want to test. And this agent instruments all of the functionalities your platform has, and essentially scan those alongside every day task that your platform does.
So you're saying put it with every microservice, and customers are often confused. Does it mean that I need to compile it with my code? Is it a library that I link?
So depending on the language that you use, if you use Java, then essentially just need to add a WAR file to your web server.
Okay.
If you're using .NET, it's an MSI file that you need to install on your IIS or Nginx, whatever you're using, and so on. So for JavaScript, we have different solutions.
But it's after the fact, right? It's not that as a dev or a security person, I need to go into the code, link it in some way into the compilation or build step.
No, so yeah, we stay away from this approach. Some companies use this approach, we stay away from this approach. We want to be very separate from your platform, from your own code. This also helps separate it from your production and what you have in your application and the security aspect that you don't want to get into production.
Sounds good. What will you show us today?
So I'm going to show you a live demo of me just running a Tomcat server with AltroJ application that we have for security testing, and we're going to add the IAST agent to the application and start monitoring, see how it goes.
Cool. So let's go immediately to that. We have your screen.
I'm going to share my screen. Let me know when you can see it.
I can see a screen.
Great. So here we're in AppScan on Cloud. You can see the application I've created. It's called Run Demo. We just released this new IAST feature, as you mentioned. So we put a little shiny label to inform you. Once you'll get into the IAST tab, you can see all the agents that you're currently managing. I'm going to download the new agent. There is nothing very difficult or a lot of steps doing that. Essentially, inside of Create Scan, we added a monitoring section where you can choose IAST and just ask to download the agent. This process takes a bit of time because we need to create security token and make sure that we have a secure link between the agent and ASOC.
And like anything else that we have in our system, everything is API based. So I don't really need to go to the UI, right?
Right. Yeah, everything is accessible from the REST APIs, and it appears in the documentation.
Okay. Cool.
So now that I have the agent downloaded, you can see that I have another scan running, another IAST monitoring agent. We can see that we need to set up the agent. What I'm going to do is, first of all, make sure that my Tomcat is started so I can see my server is up and running. I'm going to unzip the agent I've downloaded. I'm going to take this WAR and just drop it in the web apps folder of my Tomcat server. In a few seconds, we can see that Tomcat already extracted the secure agent, and now we are ready to go. I'm going to log in into my Tomcat server. We can see that our security agent is already running. Obviously, I don't have the server running yet. So I'm quickly going to install it.
To install which server?
The AltroJ, just a server.
The application itself, okay.
Exactly, but the order doesn't matter. So if the server was already running, we would still be able to do the same process. Now we can see that everything is installed. And I'm going to go to the AltroJ servlet. When I'll go back to our platform, we'll see that the IAST agent is already installed. We can see it live. Now it's in monitoring mode. And once I'll start typing and doing actions, for example, I'm going to log in using the admin user, we will already have issues found by our agent.
Nice. Can we see the issues as they run? Can we see the details?
Yeah. What's very interesting about what I've just shown you is not only that we can see the issues live. If you notice, I didn't try to hack the system in any way. I didn't use SQL injections or anything like that in order to find those issues. I just ran my normal test. I use admin user with the right password, and I found vulnerabilities, which is kind of nice. Now,
basically is the reason why some say that IAST is the best fit for DevOps, because you don't need the heavy security testing. You just leverage, as you said earlier, the QA testing, functional or
exactly.
manual. Yeah. Okay, so what information do we see? I know that for DAST, I see the request response. For static, I see the code. What do I see with IAST?
So with IAST, you have visibility for both. You have the stack for the call. You know which APIs were called. You know what was the. You essentially follow the call from sink to.
From the source to the sink, like in the static analysis data flow.
Exactly. So in this example, we can see some of the details. We can see the URI. We can see the method. See stuff that we used to see in Dust, essentially. I'm going to try to generate some more issues.
Good thing we have a really vulnerable application for you to play with.
Yeah.
So as you use it, we see the counters go up, which is great. And as you said, it doesn't require the heavy load of run this outside of your normal behavior and run a dynamic or static. It is important, of course, to mention that it's not a replacement for dynamic or static. Each one of them has its own place and provide its own value.
Right. I mean, I think it's not. We can say, like, with very strict face that each technology has its own strengths and weaknesses, and it is important to have like several point of views because IaaS can be very compatible with other engines, for example, SAST or Dust, and each has their own way of testing your application.
Mm-hmm.
I think that IAST is in a good place between Dust and SAST in terms that you get issues that you can actually point to sections in your code, and it's very unlikely to have false positives because we actually ran the flow and we reached those points. So this part of the code is accessible.
Yeah, and then when you think about it, I mean, one of the gaps that IAST have, and we had IAST many years ago, but we did it a bit differently. One of the big issues is that coverage, right? As you showed us, you need to execute with the application in order for us to find something because we're not running a scan, we just monitor.
Yeah, and the different approach that we now take is that IAST is not coupled with anything else. You can run IAST by itself, but obviously you can have an IAST agent installed on a server that you're currently running a Dust scan, which will obviously provide a lot of information regarding the issues that you find.
Yeah. No, I think this is great. I mean, in all fairness, we missed that capability in the way that customers expected us to have. And now you showed how simple it is. But is there anything else that you want to show here? Or am I bringing you back?
No, I think we're good. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that the live demo went kind of smoothly. Didn't remember to install the server at first, but that's fine.
Well, I told you, we should keep it live, as I told you before, right? Even if we pre-record it. So one of the interesting things here, and we've been asked, you and I, right? This is available in the cloud solution today, which is great. You showed how simple it is, but some of our customers are still interested in the on-prem because that's where they chose to have the deployment. What are our plans for that? If you can share a little bit of the roadmap secrets.
Yeah. So currently, as you said, we have it live in our online, cloud solution. We're going to have it available in the on-prem solution during Q3, maybe Q4, like beginning of Q4 this year. And we're really excited of having that because we get a lot of questions regarding when is it coming to the on-prem solution.
And at the same
Other
time,
than that,
if you AppScan enterprise customer out there is looking at this and is interested, hey, we will be happy to connect. Reach out to either myself or Ran. You can reach out to us over LinkedIn also, and we will be happy to show you what we are planning and to test it, right? To have a beta for this, for additional languages like.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, we would love to hear like more from you guys, like what is your development flow looks like, and we might have ideas of where IAST should be a good fit.
So before people ask in the comments later, maybe they will ask, but you showed how easy it is to put it on Tomcat, but there are others, right? So what do we support from Java perspective?
Oh, you caught me off guard. The list is a bit long, but I can assure you that no matter what is the web server that you are running, we'll find a solution. Java version should be 8 or higher.
Okay.
That's like the biggest requirement like that we have, and everything is obviously solvable.
Okay, so if I can shorten what we showed now, fully automated, very easy to deploy, drag and drop, or as part of your API. I mean, it's ready for the full extreme pipeline where someone spins the machine and just download the agent and drop it there automatically, or those that do it manually as an add-on for Dust. We cover the broad spectrum of all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind that like you don't have to wait in queue. Like your application is the one running the scan, so you can just have your application scan itself 24/7.
So what if, wait, I have another question before anyone else. Maybe they ask, maybe they don't. What if my application is deployed on multiple environment, maybe load balancing, maybe I have a component in, the logging component is on one machine and the backend store is on another one and the API is on another one. How do I do that?
That's not an issue. You just take the same agent and you put it on every server that you want to monitor, and we'll figure it out for you.
Sounds easy and just tempting to try it out. So thanks, Ran. Really appreciate you joining us today. Next week, I will also pre-record the session in respect to people's time. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions, put them in the comment below. If you want to try it out, don't hesitate to reach out to us. That would be awesome. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you, Ran, for joining also.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.